Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone out there? How's everybody doing? Good to see everyone. Wonderful to see. And this is interesting because the only comment I have so far is from Jolin, who is a Smurf member. And Jolin is actually inside here with me. Hello, Jolin.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you, Michael?
I am doing just fine, doing fine. Oh, looky there. How awesome is that? Look at the construct.
All
Chris.
right. Oh,
Chris Conkle. You are awesome. Thank you so much, sir. That's fantastic. Thank you for the super chat or super sticker, whichever it was. That was fantastic. How awesome is that? So cool to see you. Wonderful to see you. I appreciate that. So cool. Mark, my goodness, dude, I keep missing you. He keeps coming in after we do our tips. You know, he comes in afterward, and I'm like, dude, I couldn't make it in to see you. I just couldn't. So hopefully you're in the backstage pass. I'd love to hear from you and see you, and you're very much missed by me. Apparently he gets in with you guys, but it's always after. So awesome to see you, and also a member, because you can see that little symbol next to his name there, right? I don't know if you guys are seeing this like I am, but a little symbol right there that signifies that he's a member of the community. So, and he says, "Good to see you too, bro." Of course. And then howdy, Jolin. There you go from Mark. Be sure to put where you're watching from, country, city, state. This is a cool topic today, I think, because, get rid of your tech junk. My wife would just say, get rid of me, because apparently I'm her tech junk. So, but what are we talking about when I say that? I'm saying a bunch of things. I'm gonna put a whole bunch of banners up here so you can see. Getting rid of files, getting rid of certain files, getting rid of old computers or old devices or old like CD players that we don't even use anymore, or the old 3.5-inch disc, or any of that. Remove old videos and photos is a good thing too, because in a lot of times you're getting rid of larger files or just moving them and get rid of them. So, and one thing, it was interesting because I was helping somebody with this particular thing in this topic, and we were getting rid of a file that she couldn't even open. It was a huge file. It was an old video format or an old file that couldn't be used or whatever. I'm sure that if you sent it to one of those video companies, they could probably change it and get the video off of it, but you couldn't even use it. You couldn't even view it. And I was like, why are you hanging on to this? Well, it has some good memory. I said, but if you can't access it, how's it going to, it's kind of like, I don't know if you remember, if you ever played any of those old DOS games that they used to have. They were a lot of fun, but they don't play on the higher speed ones. You have to get certain things to lower it down and do all this kind of stuff. There's ways around it, but you have to do a workaround. So people were hanging on to all these games, which did not take any memory whatsoever, but they couldn't play them anymore. I was like, so why do you have them? It's pretty interesting with this. So that's going to be our topic today. Let's see who else is out there and everybody that's out there. Oh, there we go. Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. How awesome is that? And Richard. Wow, because I'm a Smurf. You are a Smurf. And if you see right, a little symbol right there that shows that Richard is a Smurf. Now, what's the difference in a Smurf? A Smurf and just a fan, and also a Tinker and Tech member. There's 3 levels. So it's just how much you're willing to donate. So the fan level is just supporting me, throwing a couple $5 or whatever it is. I think it's $4.99 or whatever. And then the next level would be Tinker with Tech, where you actually get to come in with the tips and do all that kind of stuff and see the guests that we have on and come into the backstage and all that kind of stuff. And then the Smurfs, they get a whole bunch more. Like,
ultimate righteous fans.
That's it. She got it. You win. The winner is. So yes, super mega ultimate righteous fans. They get to come in and actually be on the show so to learn a little bit about that, and also get some pretty cool, I think, individual whenever we do the workshops.
Oh yeah,
hands-on workshops. So, and we haven't done a whole lot of the yes, individual help. That is true. I do reach out and do that same kind of thing. So let's go look at a couple more. Thank you very much, Richard. You're awesome. I have an old laptop to get rid of. There you go. Perfect example. Haha, yep. Cables, man, and old computer parts. That's so true. And then Richard says from Southern California, 81, now will be 83 soon. Were we talking about your age? No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. And DOS games on 5.25 floppy. Oh my God, yes, absolutely. And then
where
Mark,
did that drive go?
I know. I know. You brought this up. I had tons of downloads on my phone that were redundant because all are also in my Google Photos. No kidding. That's so interesting too.
Michael, I think one of the most important things is, I mean, we have all these wonderful devices, but if we don't, it's like a car. If you don't maintain a car, you kind of sometimes don't get to go where you want to go. And it's the same with devices and computers and all the stuff that we're using these days. If you don't maintain them, if you don't manage them,
right,
they can fill up, they can break down, they can cause issues. So it's important to know how to get rid of or move or rearrange all of this stuff.
Totally agree. Totally 100%. So one thing that you brought it up right before we came in here, and I think it's really important when you're getting rid of old computers, not only the computers, but you have to be careful of what's on them. So getting rid of the files, these could almost be combined, getting rid of the files or the important documents.
Yes. Or your data. I mean, all the stuff about you is there.
Yes. Yes. So any information.
One of the things I do a lot at the local computer club is to help people clear off their hard drive, get all the data, put it on a thumb drive, put it on an external drive, whatever they want. Or get it moved from the old computer to the new computer. And then I do what I call birthday suit the system. And I take it back to factory setting. And that way, all of your stuff is gone. And there are different ways to do that within Windows. I'm sure there are ways to do that on Apple and other devices as well. I know you can do factory resets on phones. So to get your stuff off of them and then clean them off. Give them a good sweep.
Correct. I agree. I totally agree. So, and here's the deal. Just deleting them does not erase them.
No.
So you have to be really careful. So when you get rid of an old computer and you have a hard drive in there and you've depleted the hard drive, you erased everything, took Windows off, whatever, you've just erased that whole thing. They're still magnetically there. Somebody can still access your stuff. So this is why I wanted to emphasize this point, because this becomes really important. That's one thing that I used to do. And I still do the same thing. I will take my hard drive and actually set it on fire.
Take it out of, in other words,
take it out of the,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Take it out of the computer and burn it.
My previous laptop, the battery expanded. So it had, one of the guys at the club got into it because he had to pry that they have little clasps that catch on these laptops, so they don't want to let go. He was able to get both of them out. I haven't recovered the C drive, but all of my data I'd stored on the D drive. So I was able to recover that. That's now all on.
Was that an external drive? The D drive was that external?
Was a 512 and a terabyte. The C drive was an SSD. The extra drive was a terabyte old hard drive, a spinner. And but I was able to recover both of them. And then we're very lucky here. The local Staples has a terrific recycling, device recycling, technology recycling. They don't take like big televisions and stuff, but they take a whole lot, and you can go to probably any website. Maybe Best Buy does it, I don't know, or some of the other tech, Office Depot. But go to their websites and search for recycling, and find that. I take 2 and 3 and 4 computers to Staples every month as people are bringing them in. I offer to take them down or suggest they take them down, but to remove the data is what's most important before you do anything. The other thing we are very lucky is 3 times a year, the local county has 2. They set up 2 locations in the county where you put everything in your trunk. You drive up, you open the trunk, they take everything out. It all goes to recycling. It's again, electronic recycling. So
Yeah,
look
perfect.
into it locally,
The
wherever
only
you are.
thing, and I totally agree with you, and I've done the Staples thing just as you mentioned.
Mhm.
The only thing I would add, make sure that they don't necessarily take that hard drive apart.
No,
And
no,
I
no.
know our garbage, like you can take a computer to our dump,
Oh, yeah, we can't do
but
that.
you have to take they're going to check to see if the hard drive's in there
Hard
because they
drive is
don't
gone.
want that liability. They
Yeah.
don't want
Oh,
that being there.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I
So it's
just either
really
remove the
important
hard
to,
drive. Yeah, I either remove the hard drive, but I definitely birthday suit it, and I've been known to do it 2 and 3 times to do a reset of Windows, so that's all that's on it. And then if you really want to get rid of the other thing I have is an old degausser, which is a
Mhm.
magnetic device that I used to use for video cassettes to erase
Mhm.
them, and it works on hard drives too. You
Oh,
can run
does it
that,
really?
or take a hammer to it,
Yes.
or
Hammer's
like you
good.
said, burn it, put it in
Yeah.
a burn pit outside.
Yeah, I take it as far apart as I can and then burn
Mhm,
whatever I can. That's
yeah.
usually what I end up doing. But yeah, the new
The
Me
SSD,
Too drives
yeah,
are
the little
crazy
SSD.
fast. Installed 8 terabytes on a board with
Mhm.
3 of them. That's pretty cool. And then he says,
Oh my god.
but man, the externals I have need a
And
NAS.
that. What's this?
Yes.
Isn't that
Most
a
laptop hard drives, you can buy a case to make them external drives. I've
very
done
good.
that with my old laptop
I have
drive.
two.
That's kind of cool
Yeah.
too. That's kind of neat. I love that idea too. I have a hammer and for hard drives. I'm not using it again. And then I pour a pail of water. You would have to soak it in there because some of those
Yeah.
hard drives are pretty durable as far as that. But Mark brings up
Salt water.
great points about identity and private stuff on old computer. Yeah, I think it's important just because you can't get, even like I was mentioning about the girl that has files on her computer that she couldn't even open. She had an old video file that she couldn't open because it was an old format, whatever, and it just wouldn't open. I know a lot of software does open it, but it was on a slower machine, so it was just like it was so. And I said, why are you hanging on to this file? Is huge. And she said, well, I wanted to, that has some good
See if I
memory. I
could
said, but if you
fit.
can't see it, if you can't
Memory's
see it,
still
what good is
working.
it?
Yeah.
Exactly. And
It's
the
like
other thing
losing
is
your memory.
too,
You
that's
lose
right.
access to you lose access to a file, and oh,
I've done a tip on this on both Drive, Google Drive in your Chrome, but also on the computer. You can get rid of large files by moving them. You can sort, which is super cool,
yes.
by size. So go find out if you even need that file anymore. And you may have duplicates on there that are just doubling in size on there. And, a lot of times we don't care about it. Oh, I got a huge hard drive. I got a terabyte hard drive. I'm not worried about
Until
it,
it
whether I
fills
have
up.
double files. But even if it
Until it
doesn't
fills
fill
up.
up, but even if it doesn't, your computer's going to run a lot more efficiently
Yeah, that's true.
without having that. So for me, it's if you don't need it, go ahead and get rid of it because it's just going to help.
One of the things I used to do is when I did any kind of work or projects for clients, I would keep that data in case they needed it down the road. Well, some of them I kept for a year or two, and then I never heard from them people again. They don't need. I finally am able to let it go.
Yeah, purge it. Yeah, purge it.
Yes,
exactly.
Purging stuff. Absolutely, it's fun. And I think
So
I mentioned that as a member of the computer club through the years, I'm 32 years of volunteer there, and I've got all kinds of. I found our very first electronic newsletter that was published in 2004.
Oh, wow.
So before that, it was all paper. So I'm finding these little treasures, and there are so many organizations I've run across that lose their legacy. New board members come in, new people come in, memberships change. And so if I can contribute by putting all of the stuff that I've gathered through the years, photographs and presentations and everything, and put it in one place, and it's all going on OneDrive, so it doesn't have to be on my computer anymore.
True. That's true. And one thing I would always make sure, don't consider that a backup. That is just a secondary place for it.
Oh, absolutely.
Have two places for any files. That's the other thing I was going to talk about.
Once it's up there, there will be, that's a really good point. Because once everything's up there and organized, then I will do a backup of that backup.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. That's one thing. I think it was Richard, I think in the comments said something about photos, or somebody did. Somebody said something about photos. It might have been Mark, I think. Let me just go back and see if I can find. Yeah. Okay. So like right here, glad you brought this up. I had tons of downloads on my phone that weren't redundant because all of other, also one thing that Chris and Jim, who are the geeks on tour, they've come on our show and done a lot of Google Photos info on that. She has I can't even remember. I should be able to remember it, but I don't know. I think it's video 815. I'm going to type it in my keep and see.
I can't keep track of them.
Or is it 415? I don't know. I used to know it by heart because I always referred to this when I was helping people out, because what that video is, it's 574. Every month she takes whatever's in her months and creates a backup file of just those photos. So she has every month backed up by month and year, which is super awesome, cool idea. So it's video 574 from Geeks on Tour. If I find it, I'll put that out there. But it's really super cool. I love that ability or that thought process. And you could do the same thing if you think about that. All of your files in your computer are dated. You could actually have dated files. When you copy off or move or remove or exchange or store into, and actually an external hard drive is not that big of a deal anymore. They're so reasonably priced. Not anymore. And that's kind of the way you could go with this. So I don't know. I think that's really cool and a thing to do. The Pixel phone prompted me and suggested what files that I can delete. There you go.
Yeah.
I have photos stored in 5 places. There you go. Yeah. It's interesting, we talk about that. We talk about, and most people do it with their photos. I'm real curious. A lot of people talking about photos, and a lot of people out there do back up their photos and stuff like that. How often do you really go back and look at your photos? I'm just curious. It's just an open question. And how much do you go look at those backups? Just curious. Just real curious with people, how you react and what you do to that. So thank you, Richard, for the hit the thumbs up button. Thank you. So our topic today, it was getting rid of old computers, getting rid of files, kind of a combination of the two. Remove old videos and photos. We talked about that, and getting rid of larger files and moving them. So that was the topic for today. I wanted to cover all that. Really, that's it. If you're rewatching this and you're watching this later, be sure to put in the comments what you do or what you've done or what you need to do. Say, just leave me a note. Say, well, you know what? I need to do that. I haven't done that in forever. We would love to hear that. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, one of the things that I've learned is that if you've got a project of going through all your photos, it can be overwhelming, or all your files, or whatever it is that your goal is. Sometimes there's so much that it's overwhelming. I make an appointment with myself on Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Well, no, that's when the tip is. Okay, Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. I'm going to sit down for 30 minutes. I'm going to work on that project. I'm going through as much as I can, make a note of where I left off in Keep, or wherever you'd like to, but make appointments with yourself for small chunks of a project to accomplish it. I have found that has worked so well for me, because to sit here for 3 hours at a time, you go blind, you go cross-eyed, and so
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'll work for 30, maybe 45 minutes on something and say, okay, put it aside, note where you left off, and go back to it the next time. So that can be extreme, and I recommend that at the Computer Club all the time too. It's something that somebody was coming in and going through updating all of their passwords. I said, do it in baby chunks, just little do 5 at a time.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So whatever it is that you're working on, it helps to break it into little.
Totally agree, and that's a great suggestion. I think that's awesome. Anytime we can make ourselves more organized, go for it, and send yourself reminders about it. I love the idea of that. I think that's awesome, because when it's in your calendar, you automatically, or I get those automatically. So Andrew says, unless I'm looking for something to make a thumbnail or show something someone asked about, I rarely go back just to look at a photo. That is. And then Diane Bush says, good topic. Well, Diane, I'm glad you like that topic. Diane is one of our fan members. Yep, she's one of our fan members. You can see she's a member as well, and she's just a fan of the community. I appreciate that. So yes, please put your comments up there afterward. I mean, obviously the show might not work out for everybody, but put your comments up there about getting rid of your old computers, what you do, the processes. Don't forget to remove old videos and photos and get rid of files. Make sure you get rid of stuff off of that computer, totally off of there, and throw away your hard drives, etc., all that kind of stuff. We're going to meet in the Backstage Pass. If you're a member at the Tinkering with Tech level or above, come join us. We would love to have you over there. I got it opened up. If you know the link, that's fine. If not, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that right now. Before I forget, I'm going to put the Backstage link in there, and you guys can come join us over there. Any members. Hopefully, Mark, I hadn't seen you in a while. Love to see you over there if you can make it, only if you can make it, but if you can, I understand. And all you other members who are awesome and love you guys. It's great. It's good to see Pat or Mert, excuse me, dear Mert was out there. Awesome to see her. And I see Andrew finally made it in. Richard, you're always a good supporter. And looky there, Richard with his contribution. Appreciate that. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to take us on out. We will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for having me again. Appreciate it.
You got it. Bye-bye.